Why is it that you want more peace, you want more money, more success, more love, but every single time it starts to show up, you pull back, you shut down, you delay it, and you find an excuse to break your own momentum? Well, it's because you've been loyal to an unspoken old family rules that kept you safe in a dysfunctional family so that you were able to survive as a kid. However, now those things are working against you. You just need to notice the pattern to break it. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to recognize self-sabotage patterns so that you can break free from them. And just so you know, this is identity work and it's your nervous system work. Because once you can see the loop that you're in, you can finally step out of it. And when that happens, your entire life will shift. Pattern recognition is the ability to step outside of your autopilot and finally see the loop that you've been living in, because most people are not actually stuck. They're just in the subconscious cycle that's been repeating for so long that it feels like reality. Pattern recognition is how you start to notice that your procrastination is protection. So, for example, if you find yourself needing to finish something really important, something that could potentially move your business forward or suddenly make your life super successful, you might start feeling tired, distracted, feel like you're not ready. And that is not random. That is your subconscious mind trying to protect you from what it thinks is dangerous. And that might be being seen, succeeding, or standing out. Another pattern that you might notice is that you're overgiving. Overgiving is self-sabotage. It's actually a strategy to feel needed. So if you constantly say yes, go the extra mile, or give more than you have because you feel guilty saying no, or you're afraid that you won't be valued otherwise, that's a survival pattern rooted in needing to earn love, approval, or safety within your family dynamic when you were a kid. Another really common self-sabotage pattern is always being busy. You might call it ambition. Other people look at you and they say, oh, you're so ambitious. But the reality is it's you being afraid to stand still, because stillness often brings up feelings you don't want to face. One of my self-sabotaging patterns that I've noticed was don't ask for help because you don't want to be a burden to others. And how I realized that was a pattern was the worst way possible, because I had ruined one of the biggest opportunities to move my business forward. I had a huge influencer that came to my business. She found me because she said her team did research on my business. She loved the brand. She loved everything. We were sitting down, we were talking, and one thing led to another, and she realized that I wasn't doing brand deals with my company. And she said, oh my God, why don't you do brand deals? And mind you, this influencer did every brand deal under the sun with the biggest companies. And in that moment, I said, oh no, I don't want to do it. And the way she was talking to me, she was like, oh, why don't you do it? Like, I could show you how to do it. And I said, no, it's okay. We don't want to do brand deals. That's just not the direction we're taking. Like, let me tell you, it's been a long time. It's been a year since then. And I still kick myself in the every time I think about how I self-sabotaged my business in that moment. It was so bad that I jumped out of my own loop of that pattern, took a look, and I was like, what did you just do? And at that moment, like, I had self-awareness. Like, that's how bad I felt I sabotaged that opportunity to grow, that I jumped out of my own loop. And I was like, okay, we need to get to the bottom of this, because like we cannot keep going at this rate. But once I did the exercise that I'm about to tell you in this video, I understood that it came from me playing a role where I didn't want to burden anyone when I was a kid, don't ask for help, and basically figure things out. So it's about realizing that the life that you're living now is a reflection of what your nervous system believes is safe. So what is that one thing that you keep doing that is like that on autopilot? Think of one thing. So now if you think about it, you can bring it from the autopilot in your subconscious mind and bring it forward to your conscious mind. And that's where we can actually fix it. There are 3 types of self-sabotage patterns. And once you start noticing your patterns, you'll see they usually fall into one of the 3 categories. So the first one is emotional sabotage. This is when your feelings hijack your actions. You finally start to succeed and suddenly you feel anxious. Something in your body tightens, your mind starts racing. You think, oh, this is too much. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I'll delay this. So you basically pull back because your nervous system was never taught that success is safe. The second one is behavioral sabotage. This shows up in your habits, your choices, your actions. You ghost the opportunities. You cancel the launch last minute. You say yes when you really want to say no. You commit to 10 different things. Then you feel resentful and overwhelmed. And most of the time, you know you're doing it. You just don't know why. And for me, this was people pleasing on autopilot. I would say yes to everything. I would give discounts. I would over deliver. It was a lot coming from I didn't want to disappoint people. I wanted to make sure I over deliver. I wanted to make sure people felt like they got their money's worth plus like a cherry on top. And sadly, I would also do the same thing for my friends, my family. And when I kind of thought that it would be reciprocated with friendships, with family members, when that didn't happen, I was extremely confused, disappointed. I would feel resentment. And the third one is energetic sabotage. So this one is extremely powerful, and every single person that is watching this, you will relate. This is when you keep attracting the same type of person. It could be the same type of client, the same type of team member, the same type of partner, the same types of situations. And it could be always different faces, but it's the same pattern. Maybe they need saving. Maybe they drain you. Maybe they make you question your worth. That's your energetic blueprint recreating what feels familiar. So I saw this clearly when I kept hiring people I had to rescue. They always needed more training. They always needed more emotional support, more fixing. And deep down, that was my comfort zone because I was the savior in my family dynamic when I was a kid. And at a certain point, each of these patterns may look different on the surface, but they all come from the same place. And that's you trying to feel safe. And once you understand that, you stop shaming yourself for the pattern. But you now need to find out, what is it saving you from? Like, what is that pattern that you're doing? What is it saving you from? What is your subconscious mind saving you from? Let's find one pattern and trace it back together. So what is the one thing that keeps showing up in your life that you keep doing? Don't overthink it. Just notice what keeps showing up. Like you do this one thing over and over and over throughout years and years. What is it? Let's name it. What is it? Are you overgiving? Are you procrastinating? Are you avoiding rest? Are you ghosting opportunities? Okay, so now that you have that one thing, we need to trace it back to the root of where it came from. So think back, when did I learn this was the way to stay safe? Because that pattern came from somewhere. So let's say your pattern is people pleasing, and growing up, you had a parent who was overly critical. You learned early that love was conditional, that being accepted meant being agreeable, impressive, or perfect. So now, as an adult, you avoid conflict, you overextend, you feel like you can't say no, even when it's hurting you. It was your protection strategy when you were a child. This is what kept you safe. And once you see this, you can finally decide whether it still serves you or not. All right, so now that we know what it is, we traced back to where it came from. What is the next step? The next step is you have to name the rule. Ask yourself, you have this pattern of people pleasing. What is the rule? So the rule in your brain might be, if I say no to someone, I'm selfish. So for example, if you had a parent that made you do things and if you didn't do them, they called you selfish or they called you lazy, that is the rule that is in your subconscious mind. So think back. What is the rule that you were given with this pattern. Okay, so you're a people pleaser, and the rule is if I don't do it, I'm selfish. Now, what you have to do is you have to cross that out and rewrite a new rule. You have to replace the old one with a new one, and the new rule will be rooted in truth. That is the biggest difference, because the old rule that you have is not true, but the new one that we're going to do, that is the truth. So let's say the old rule is if I say no, I'm selfish. So the new rule, the truth, is boundaries are necessary for success. Now, logically, you know that's true. And logically, you also know that saying no does not make you selfish. Saying no to things that do not serve you is the highest form of self-respect. This is truth. And now what you have to do is repeat this new rule every single time the pattern tries to kick in, especially when it feels uncomfortable, because this is actually how you reprogram your mind. Your subconscious learns through repetition. Every single morning, I would repeat it until I brainwashed myself into the truth. So the more you say it, write it, live it, the more your nervous system starts to believe it. It's safe to honor myself. It's safe to believe in this. And that's how transformation actually sticks. All right, so now that you've reprogrammed your mind, how do you solidify it? And that is through action. You have to live it. What does that look like? So next time someone asks you for something that drains you and you want to say no, you actually say no. That's all it is. Now, people in your life that don't expect you to say no because you always say yes, they'll be taken aback. They will call you the enemy. They'll say you changed. Blah, 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 blah. Let them feel what they feel. Let them say what they say. Your answer is no, period. Do not explain yourself. Of course, be nice about it. Like, don't be about it. But at the same time, it's like, no, sorry. Can't do it. And here's the hard part. Do not over apologize. Don't take it back. That moment right there is where the rewiring happens, because your nervous system will panic. It'll scream. It's going to say, oh my God, we're in danger. They're going to think we're selfish. Hold it. You'll be fine. You will survive. Just hold it. Because if you prove to yourself that saying no didn't kill your safety, your whole system starts to shift. It starts to learn that I can be loved and still honor myself. And every single time you do this, it gets easier and easier and easier. And people that were taking advantage of your kindness will fall off. And you know what? Let them fall off, because they were there in a relationship with you based on your traumas. And one day you're going to wake up and that people-pleasing pattern will be gone 100%. That pattern will no longer be running the show. And you are going to be so proud of yourself. And I also thought that kindness would be remembered. So if I gave more, people would value me more. But that's not what happened. It actually ended up backfiring, because now people expected more of me. And when I would get burnt out and I just couldn't give more, I would somehow end up being the bad guy. So me and my businesses were full of energy leaks. And I started resenting the very thing that I built. And it wasn't until I fully burnt out, until I connected the dots, that the root of this pattern was my nervous system's memory. Because somewhere along the line, I learned that disappointing people meant danger, and that love could be withdrawn, and that I had to earn safety by being the good girl. So I started rewiring myself. I started rewiring those beliefs, and I started saying no, even when it made my stomach turn. But that's when everything changed for me, for the better. Once you get past through the uncomfortable stage and all the dead weight relationships, dead weight, pretty much everything around you falls off, you start attracting people, things, events that are completely aligned with your true self now. The person that you become, the person that you rewrote yourself, your beliefs, your new patterns, you start to attract the same things. You start living from your truth. And even if you change just one bad, big pattern that you keep doing, that alone will change your life drastically. And if you need a little bit more help, check down the link below. I do have some more resources for you. Comment down below. Let me know your story. I would love to hear all about it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.